Now let me go back to my terminal, and then I'm going to delete the empty dir YAML. So kubectl delete -f, and there we go. So that's gone. Just give it a second. And now if I type kubectl get pods, there we go, it's gone. And let's apply it. So in here, so kubectl apply -f, and then the file again. There we go. And now if I get pods and then watch, check this out. So you can see that it's running right here. So this is a good sign. So you can see that now we have no errors, and the process is hanging because of this command in here. So now remember, we have a volume in here. So this volume, and the mount path is foo. So let's just have a look. So here I'm going to press Ctrl C, and let's just grab this pod, Command C, kubectl, and then exec dash, and then it, and then the name of the pod dash dash, and then sh. Enter, and it says that use defaulting container name to 1, and this is because we have 2 containers. So if I come out of that and then press Ctrl L, and in here I can say, so basically in here, so kubectl and then exec dash it, and here I want to say -c for container and then 1, and you can see that no errors. So now check this out. So if I type ls, have a look, foo in here. So this foo is this guy in here, right? And the name is cache, and we mounted a volume. So we mounted a volume to container number 1 in here, and basically we mounted that same volume using the name cache. And then what we did is we said touch, and then inside of that folder foo, create a file called bar.txt. So let's just check it out. So here I'm going to say cd, or actually cat, and then foo and bar.txt, and fair enough, it's there and it's empty. So if I cd and then foo ls, you can see that we have bar.txt. So this is awesome. Now let's SSH, or actually let's exec into the second container. So kubectl, and I think I can use the up arrow. There we go. So here I'm going to say 2. There we go. And if I say ls, have a look. So here we have foo. So if I say cd and then foo ls, and we have bar. Now in here, so inside of the second container, I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to say vi and then foo, or actually bar.txt, and I want to say hello, and then escape out of that. So escape column wq, and then cat, and then bar.txt. There we go. So we have hello. So here now, let's just say cat. So before it was empty, right? So when I said cat, it didn't give us anything. So here I'm going to say cat, and then bar.txt, and let me clear the screen first, enter, and you can see that we are sharing the same file in both containers. So this is awesome, which means that if I say vi, and then let me say just boom, and here I'm going to say insert, and then boom, boom, for example, and then escape, escape out of this, and then here ls, you can see that we have bar, and then boom, cat, boom, we have boom, boom inside. And here if I say ls, so this is the second container, ls, we have boom in there, cat, and then boom. And there we go, boom, boom. So this is awesome. So you can see that we've managed to create a volume type called empty_dir in here, right? And this is how you share data between two containers using empty_dir. So obviously, as I said, so let me just come out of this. So let me just close this window, and then let me come out of this. So Control D, and in here, if I say kubectl get pods, in here, you can see that we have this pod. But if I delete the pod, so if I say kubectl delete and then pod and enter, oops. So delete, no, detail. Oh my boy. So this should be delete like that. There we go. So deleted, and just give it a second. So here, if I press Control Z and then kubectl get and then pods, you can see that it's terminating, but we have one which is pending in here. So just give it a second. So basically, all of that data that we created and we change within that empty_dir volume is now gone. So remember, because this pod has been terminated, as well as the empty_dir volume. So let me prove that to you. So in here, if I grab this, so before it was pending, let's just say get pods again, and you can see that now it's running. So if I exec, so let me just remove this for a second, and here let's just exec. So I'm just being lazy. So here it doesn't matter the container that we exec into. So paste that, and then if I say cd, we still have foo, but in here if I do an ls, we have bar.txt. But check this out. So you see that boom is no longer here. If I say cat bar, so before we change the contents of this file, and you can see that it's empty. So there we have it. This is pretty much everything that you need to know about the empty_dir volume. So it's quite useful when you want to share data between containers, but not only that, if you only want to keep the data for the lifespan of the pod. So those are the two main use cases for empty_dir. And finally, as you've seen in here, so in here we will have volume mounts. We can mount more than one volume inside of each pod, or actually inside of each container. And also in here, you can see that we have this volume. Currently we just have one, but if you want, for example, second volume, you can just say like this. So in here, so you can have a second one, and let's say that this one you want to store, for example, thumbnails, something like that, right? So there you have it. And then basically you just refer to your volume right here, just like this. So here I can say thumbnails. I can also put it inside of thumbnails, so / and then thumbnails. So there you have it. Now I'm not going to run this, but you get the point. So if you run this yourself, you should see a new folder inside of the container called thumbnail, but only for this container right here. If you want for the second one, you also add it in here. And finally, one thing that I want to point out is that you see for this cache right here, we actually mounted both container 1 and container 2 on the same location. But for example, here, you could mount it in a different location. You can say hello, for example, in here, and it doesn't really matter, right? Because if you, from container 2, you add stuff into hello, it will show up into foo because of this volume mount right here, which is cache. So they both refer to this one right here. So there we have it. If you have any questions on volume mounts and empty_dirs, drop me a message. Otherwise, let's move on.